In this video, I'd like to show how we can use ratios and proportions, but also the metric chart to make conversions between systems. So we've already seen the metric system, and we've done conversions in the U.S. household and imperial system. So what we want to do is kind of convert them or use the conversion factors that link them. So the first example says we need to convert 202 pounds to kilograms. And this is something that you, again, will be doing consistently in this course, is converting the weight from pounds to kilograms. To get started, we need to think about, do we have a direct conversion between pounds and kilograms? And the answer is yes. When I say direct conversion, I mean, do we have a ratio that links these two? We know the total number of pounds and how that's related to and equivalent to an equal number or an equivalent size of kilograms. And we do. We know that there are 2.2 pounds in 1 kilogram, and that is a conversion factor that you really need to know. That's one you'll use a lot. So as we saw in the last videos, we're going to start by writing this conversion factor as a ratio. We know that 2.2 pounds is going to be related, and there are 2.2 pounds per 1 kilogram. So we can write this as a ratio. And what we're looking to do is to find an equivalent ratio where we have 202 pounds and we don't know how many kilograms that is. So now we have an example where we are going to be using either the invariant nature, the covariant nature, or cross multiplication, the different methods that we learned, to solve for this unknown number of kilograms. So I see that's to get from pounds to kilograms on the left-hand side. All I'm doing is dividing by 2.2. So that's the same thing that I'm going to be doing over here. I'm going to take 202 and divide by 2.2. And again, this is because this is what happens. This is the relationship that we know if these two ratios are equivalent. This same factor needs to hold for both the pounds and kilograms. So I will take 202 and I will divide 202 divided by 2.2, and I will get approximately, this is a decimal here, 91.81, and we can round this. Typically we'll round this to the tenths place. That's what we'll see in this course. So this is about 91.8 kilograms. So this 2.2 pounds into 1 kilogram, definitely one you need to know. And just as we saw in the last few videos, we start by writing the conversion factor in as a ratio, and we use that ratio to help us find an equivalent number of, in this case, kilograms for some number of pounds. In the next example, we are asked to, and it says a newborn weights, but it should say weighs. Newborn weighs 3,765 grams. How many pounds is this? And then once we know the number of pounds, what we want to do is to take that decimal, because we will end up with a decimal, and convert that into an equivalent number of ounces. So I'll show you what I mean. But let's think about whether or not we know if we need to get from grams, in this case, grams to pounds. You need to ask yourself, do you know the relationship between grams and pounds? Do you have a ratio that links these two? And in this course, that's not one that you need to memorize, and it's not actually one that I know off the top of my head. But I do know that we need to know kilograms to pounds. That's definitely what I know. So if I had kilograms, we would be able to use the ratio of 2.2 pounds to 1 kilogram. And I know grams can be turned into kilograms quite easily because they're in the metric system. So that's going to be my plan. I'm going to change the grams into kilograms, and then I will go kilograms into pounds. Again, I'm just making a plan. I'm mapping this out before I actually start the conversions. Now, to take 3,765 grams, we could use ratios. If we wanted to convert that to kilograms, we could use ratios. But you could also use the King Henry acronym. So maybe that's what I'll do for this first conversion. So King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk full of microorganisms. I have the basic unit gram. That's the basic unit. And I'm going to kilogram. So that's 1, 2, 3. 3 spaces. The decimal's moving 3 spaces to the left. So if I had 3,765, the decimal point was here. It's moving 1, 2, 3, 3 spaces to the left. So this is an equivalent number here, 3.765 kilograms. And you're going to notice this is just a conversion that you do quite frequently, so you might be able to just jump from 3,765 grams to 3.765 kilograms. So now what I want to do, what we just did there is this part here. We converted the grams to kilograms. Now let's convert this number of kilograms into pounds. So we'll start by writing the conversion factor. What do we know? We know there are 2.2 pounds per 1 kilogram. We don't know how many pounds 3.765 kilograms is. So this is the proportion that we get, and we could cross multiply, or we could look at the covariant nature. So maybe I'll do that. I see the kilograms here is increasing by a factor of 3.765, right? 1 times 3.765 gives me the number of kilograms. So that same value needs to hold in the numerator. So if we do that multiplication, 2.2 times 3.765, we get 8.283, and this is the number of pounds. So the newborn weighs 8.283 pounds. So just taking a step back, we converted the grams into kilograms first because we didn't have a direct ratio off the top of our heads from grams to pounds. And then once we did that, we just did kilograms to pounds. Now the next part says to convert the decimal into an equivalent number of ounces. And this is often done. And that should make sense. Think about when you are given or you are talking about a newborn's weight, it's typically in pounds and ounces. 8 pounds, 3 ounces, 8 pounds, 12 ounces, 7 pounds, 4 ounces, whatever the case may be. But what we just found was 8.283 pounds. And a common mistake is to say, well, this is just 8.2 ounces, or 8.3 if we were to round. And that's not correct. We actually need to change this decimal amount. This is a fraction or a part of a pound. And we need to change that into an equivalent number of ounces. So how am I going to do that? Well, I need to first consider what is the ratio that I need to convert pounds and ounces. And I know that 1 pound is 16 ounces. That's what I know. 1 pound is 16 ounces. That's the ratio you need to know. And we're not looking for 1 pound here. We're not converting 1 pound. We are converting 0.283 pounds. So just taking that decimal, and we're converting just that decimal into an equivalent number of ounces. So here is a proportion that we need to solve here. I can see that pounds to ounces is being manipulated by a factor of 16. So that same value needs to occur over here on the right ratio. So in my calculator, what I want to do is 0.283 times 16. And let's see what we get. We get 4.528. And this is ounces. So what we just did, again, was change that decimal into an equivalent number of ounces. So we would put this together and say that this newborn weighs 8 pounds, and approximately, this is a tough one because we could round up this to 5, but we might keep this at let's do that. Let's round this to the nearest whole number. This would be 8 pounds, 5 ounces. So we're going to round this to the nearest whole number, and this is 0.5, so that would bump that up to 5. You might also be asked in the future to keep that as a decimal, so a more accurate answer might be 8 pounds, 4.5 ounces. Either one of these right now is okay. You're typically going to be told how to round. What's more important at this step is just going through the process of the conversions and knowing at the very end, okay, I need to be informed as to how to round that.